Good morning everyone. My name is Abhay Singh and I welcome you all in today's video analysis of The Hindu. Today is 20th of August 2024 and we'll start with the first news headline for the day. And we will start with this the K Hima committee report which have submitted its report to Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, who is the Chief Minister of Kerala. This particular report was related to the problems faced by women in Malayalam film industry. Now this report has revealed certain disturbing facts that there is the sexual exploitation of female workers, there's female actresses and female workers in the Malayalam film industry. There is also discrimination, drug and alcohol abuse, wage disparity amongst wage disparity is very common in India. Not in India, it is common all around the world, this wage disparity. Now after this wage disparity, there was inhumane work conditions. So these are the various issues that have been flagged by this K Himam committee report, which was submitted to Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, who is the Chief Minister of Kerala. This particular report was related to the conditions of women in Malayalam film industry. Now, this is one news that is coming all the way from the southmost corner of the country. Now, let's move on to the another news that is coming all the way from Karnataka. This particular news is related to the Chief Minister, Mr. K. Siddharamaiah. Now, there were certain allegations of Mr. K. Siddharamaiah, who is the currently Chief Minister of Karnataka, and the allegations were that he has shown some kind of irregularities in Muda. Now, what is this Muda? So, Muda is basically Mysuru Urban Development Authority. So, basically, there was a case against Mr. K. Siddharamaiah, and he has been allegedly involved in some irregular allotment of land to his wife. So, a case has been filed against him. A case has been initiated, but there was a petition in the High Court of Karnataka, and the High Court has deferred the proceeding till August 29. So basically, till August 29, lower court cannot proceed against K. Siddharamaiah as it was given in the High Court's temporary order High Court's temporary order to the lower court. Now let's move on to the next news headline for the day. So this is the city. This newspaper is the city edition. So basically, this is all about the local news items or the local events happening in Delhi. So this is not important as of now. These news items do not have much of the relevance. So we will move on to the next important issue. So basically, this particular news is not important. I have just marked it in yellow just to let you know that there was this stabbing. There was a stabbing incident in Udaipur, and the boy who was stabbed by the accused have succumbed to his injuries, and eventually he died. Now let's move on to the next important news headline for the day. The whole story, the whole incident of Kolkata, which is still, which is still very, it's a hot shot topic all around the country, which has been discussed. But the response from the state government is quite pathetic. The state government is responding in the worst possible way. The state government is responding in the worst possible way, and not only this, the various kind of steps which were taken by the state government are quite horrendous and horrible. And the statement which was used by the Kolkata High Court is absolutely true that the law and order situation has failed in the state of Kolkata, in the state of West Bengal. So basically, law and order have situation have failed in the West Bengal. This particular statement was flagged by the Honorable High Court of West Bengal. So now moving on to the next important issue, though. So basically, this particular news item is the extension of the news which was given on the first page. So basically related to HEMA panel, the publication of the K HEMA committee report on issues faced by women in Malayalam cinema warrants a special investigation into allegations of sexual harassment, according to legal experts. The panel, which had stated that it had avoided recording the names and other details of the witnesses in their statements, concluded that it was satisfied that the women faced sexual harassment, even from very well-known people in the industry who were named before the committee. Some witnesses even produced video and audio clips, screenshots of WhatsApp messages, etc. To establish the fact there is a demand for sex for the entry into cinema, and certain people in the industry persuade them to make themselves available for sex. So basically, this is all about this Hema committee report, which was related to the conditions of the women in the Malayalam film industry. And in her report, what the various kind of important issues have been raised by the K Hema committee report, and the allegations are quite serious that women have to uh, face a various kind of sexual uh, harassments and sexual exploitation of women in the industry, and there are various top uh, level players who are also involved in these kind of uh, disgraceful and disgusting activities. Now let's move on to the next important news headline for the day. So basically, the both the editorials are of great importance. The first the first article of the editorial is authored by Sonia Gandhi, who is also the member of Parliament Rajya Sabha and is a chairperson of the Congress Parliamentary Party. So this particular article is related to the recent changes which were made by the government. Not recent changes. These changes were made in 2021, and so this particular article is related to the manufacturing of flag and how the shift from khadi to polyester have changed the course of the entire thing, and the emotional and the sentimental value of this thing, that earlier the flag was used the no, the kind of raw material that was used in making flag was hand woven wool, cotton, silk, and khadi. But nowadays, after the amendment, the things have changed. Now this flag can be made by using imported polyester yarn. So let's start with the article. The Prime Minister's renewed call for a Har Ghar Ganga campaign in the week leading up to our Independence Day, 9 to 15th of August, offers us an opportunity to collectively introspect our national flag and its significance to the country. So this is the main central idea of this particular article, the national flag and its significance to our country. This is the central idea of this particular article. The rampant adoption of machine manufactured polyester flags with the raw materials often imported from China and elsewhere is another. So basically, the important issue Miss Sonia Gandhi is raising here is that uh, earlier these flags were made by using hand woven wool, cotton, silk, and khadi bunting. But now, after this amendment, the flags can be made, and the flags are made using polyester flags, polyester. And this polyester is mainly imported from China. So basically, what Sonia Gandhi is trying to convey to the general public is that that flag is something which have this supreme value of national, which represents the kind of supreme value of nationalism and patriotism. सो अगर आप फ्लैग की जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो रही है वो पॉलिस्टर से हो रही है, और अगर वो पॉलिस्टर चाइना से इंपोर्ट होकर के आ रहा है, सो द थिंग्स आर नॉट क्वाइट fitting actually, because China is our only not the only, but China is our main enemy, actually our enemy. Not we don't share good relations with China, so it is a very shameful thing. Now let's start with the second paragraph. The flag code on India has required the national flag to be made in hand spun and hand woven wool, cotton, silk, khadi, bunting. Now this is important. The flag code. So the flag code was enacted in 2002, and it has various things related to national flag, what kind of material will be used, what will be the procedure of hoisting and unfurling, and which institutes can hoist the flag. So these are the various things that have been given in the flag code. The flag code was came into force in 2002. So basically, this flag code 2002 suggests that, or this mandates that the national flag should be should be made of hand spun and hand woven wool, cotton, silk, khadi, bunting. Khadi, the coarse but versatile and sturdy fabric which the Mahatma himself spun and wove in his leadership of the national movement, is imbued with the special meaning in our historical and cultural memory. So basically, we Indians know who have studied the history, who are familiar with the history of India, they know, they understand the importance of khadi. Earlier, khadi was an instrument, khadi was a tool to develop this feeling of unity, to develop this feeling of patriotism and nationalism during pre-independence era. So the sentimental value of khadi is great in India because khadi is the symbol of freedom. Khadi is the symbol of freedom. So the emotional and the sentimental value that have been attached to the khadi are great. So the main idea of this particular article is that earlier flag can be made using this hand woven wool, cotton, silk, and khadi bunting as per the flag code of 2020. But in in 2021, on 30th December 2021, Government of India brought one amendment and it has amended the flag code of 2002. And what are the major amendments that have been made by this amendment of 2021? So the major amendment was that the flag can be made using uh, made machine-made polyester bunting and simultaneously exempted polyester flags from the goods and services tax. So basically, this 2021 amendment, but this amendment which was brought in 2021, one which was effectively implemented from 2020 to 15th August 2022. The government has allowed that flags can be made using polyester bunting, and also the one another important thing that polyester flags were exempted from the goods and services tax. So it was somehow government was giving more benefits, or it was intending, or it was a kind of signal that people should manufacture more and more polyester flags. Why? Because if you are providing some kind of incentive to a specific class, and that specific class is basically the manufacturer of flag using polyester. So if you are providing a specific kind of benefit or a specific kind of incentives to a specific community or class, then all the members will definitely who are involved in the manufacturing of flag will shift to that particular class. They will think of becoming part of that particular group because they will get the benefits. And what are the benefits? The exemption of goods and services tax. Because basically, polyester flags are exempted from goods and services tax. Now, the Karnataka Khadi Gramodyog Samyukta Sangh, the Karnataka Khadi Gramodyog Samyukta Sangh, KKGSS, in Karnataka's Hubli district is the country's sole national flag manufacturing unit accredited by the Bureau of Indian Standards. So had to resort to an indefinite strike to call attention to the state-sponsored murder of India's khadi industry. So basically, the logic is quite simple. The analogy is quite simple. If you are, earlier it was mandatory that flags will be used. Flags will be made by using cotton, woven wool, cotton, silk, khadi, bunting, etc. But in 2021, Government of India brought one amendment, and it allowed the amendment was dated, the order was dated 30th December 2021, and which was effectively implemented from the 2022 Independence Day. And after this particular amendment, these flags can be used. These flags can be manufactured using polyester, and these polyester flags will be exempted from GST. So it was a kind of state-sponsored murder of khadi industry. Because if you really want to, this actually want to give emphasis on on this whole idea of make in India, then you should provide more and more financial support to Indian manufacturing industries. These industries which used to manufacture flags using cotton woven wool. So basically, this was this whole idea. Now let's move on to the next important, the GST burden. Demonetization of punitive GST and unplanned COVID-19 lockdowns saw thousands of our handloom workers quit their professions. Our handloom traditions, a material a testament to our shared history as a society and polity, have been unraveled by the high-handedness of the uncaring government. So basically, you know, uh, in 2016 there was this demonetization. In 2020 this whole world was, facing the acute and this great, not great, actually dangerous attack of COVID-19. So how basically the lot of people who are involved in the handloom industry lost their jobs, they quit their profession, and and this is not good. These are not good signs. Why these are not good signs? Because we have to preserve khadi. Khadi is basically India's root. It tells about the roots of India. We got independence. Gandhi ji ka charkha. The charkha of Gandhi ji was the symbol of freedom, right? Earlier, the charkha used to be in the middle strip of the national flag. So the importance of charkha is great. Not the importance of charkha only, but the importance of khadi is great. The khadi is a symbol of self-reliance in India. And this Bharatiya Janata Party, which brought the amendment in 2022, 21, which was effectively implemented from 2022, is all about nationalism. Is all about nationalism, राइट. सो बेसिकली अगर आप नेशनलिज्म को इतना ही सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, इतना ही फेवर कर रहे हैं, सो बेसिकली आप ऐसे स्टेप्स कैसे ले सकते हैं? बेसिकली इंडिया में खादी का मतलब इज इंडिपेंडेंस. पीपल रिलेट टू इट. Everybody knows. Even my mother and my parents know about that, the importance of khadi, importance of that charkha. So basically, these are the things that this article is mainly focusing on. The recently launched Vishwakarma Yojana, itself deficient on multiple accounts, fully exclude handloom spinners and weavers from its ambit. So basically, recently the government of India has launched one scheme which is known as Vishwakarma Yojana, and this Vishwakarma Yojana is not actually applicable, and the beneficiaries cannot be from handloom industry and the weavers. So handloom spinners and weavers cannot take the benefit of Vishwakarma Yojana, which is launched by the union government. Now we have to understand one last aspect or one last analogy which has been given by Ms. Sonia Gandhi. Government procurement of khadi has fallen as department chose to ignore or overrule mandates that require them to do so. At a time when consumers across the world are beginning to price sustainable sourcing and fair trade, the fabric on which Gandhiji's Satyagraha was founded should have been globally treasured. So basically, what the author of this particular article is trying to say that, the kind of importance that khadi holds, it should have been propagated, it should have been globally treasured, it should have been protected by the entire world, not only India, but basically Indians or the Indian government has failed to protect this whole idea of khadi. We have, and the sad part is that there are still 23 years. In 23 years, we are going to complete 100 years of independence, and in 2022. So basically, 70, even after 75 years of our independence, the government had decided that it will allow flags to be manufactured using polyester, and those polyester flags will be goods and services tax free. GST won't be applicable, GST will not apply on these polyester flags. The kind of importance khadi holds, the kind of importance that charkha holds, the symbolic importance of charkha and khadi is great. So this is a kind of thing which should have been treasured, which should have been treasured not by India but by the entire world. We should take more and more steps. We should take sufficient steps to strengthen this idea of khadi and nationalism. But again, um, let's not discuss much about it because the author of this particular article uh, has some political affiliations. Not political affiliations, he's basically member of parliament. So this whole article has some tone of that political influence. So we won't be discussing much of the things in this particular article. But yeah, the important things have been discussed, and just keep those things in mind. The first important thing was that the flag code was brought in the year 2002, which was amended which was amended through a order in 2022, and basically that particular order allows the flags to be manufactured in polyesters. So basically this was one article. Now let's move on to the another important article, and it is related to Bangladesh and the investments that we have made in Bangladesh. Now let's start this article. So the first and the foremost idea of this particular article is that under this Sheikh Hasina regime, under the regime of Sheikh Hasina, Indian companies and Indian government has made a lot of investment in Bangladesh. Now Sheikh Hasina has been ousted. Sheikh Hasina has been ousted from the country. Now, what will happen to these investments which have been made by the Indian government and Indian companies in Bangladesh? Because everybody knows that Sheikh Hasina was pro-India. She was helping India in every possible way. This was a kind of quid pro quo transaction. India used to help Bangladesh, and Bangladesh, you know, Bangladesh used to provide a lot of support, but basically we share a good bond with Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a good neighbor. We have made a lot of investment in Bangladesh, and also the reason why Sheikh Hasina used to support a lot of Indian companies and factories. The only important reason was that on 16th of December 1971, when Bangladesh got independence, when East Pakistan got independence from West Pakistan, now East Pakistan is known as Bangladesh. It was Awami League. It was Awami League. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who is the founding father of Bangladesh, and Awami League. Sheikh Hasina is the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, founder of Awami League. Now it was Indian Army which has helped this Awami League, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and Mukti Bahini to get the freedom from West Pakistan. So it was a kind of not quid pro quo, actually a token of gratitude from Bangladesh. But now, after the Prime Minister of Bangladesh has been ousted from her own country, now what is going to happen with all the investment that India has made in Bangladesh? Now let's focus on a few important things. Now, the another important thing is that why this particular article becomes important also because now the government has been changed. Now the government has changed in Bangladesh. As of now, there's an interim government which has been headed by Muhammad Yunus. But there have been a lot of time that Bangladeshis, basically the people from Bangladesh, they claimed that the Sheikh Hasina government is providing a red carpet welcome to the investors from Bangladesh, and there was a lot of agitation from the opponents of Sheikh Hasina. It might change the existing laws or adopt new regulatory measures that may adversely impact Indian capital. Now, this is the main issue. Now the government has changed. The red carpet welcome was given by the Sheikh Hasina government. She was pro-India. But now the things are changing. So what will happen to Indian capital that has been invested in Bangladesh? Legal protection for Indian investors. The Indian companies that have invested in Bangladesh can use the first two legal frameworks to protect their investment from regulatory risks. For instance, Indian companies can rely on Bangladesh Foreign Private Investment Act. So basically, in case of any ups and downs, there are various remedies that are available to any foreign entity. Take one example. Suppose there is a country X which has, suppose there is a country X which has invested in India. Now the situation of India changed. Now the X company will have certain kind of protection, will have certain kind of legal protection which have been provided by various international laws. So basically what this particular author is trying to say here is that there are various legal frameworks that are available to counter this specific problem, and also Indian companies which have invested their capital in Bangladesh, they can rely on this Bangladesh Private Investment Act. However, there are limitations to relying on the domestic law of the host state because it can be changed unilaterally by the state to investors' detriment at any time. But the another important point that have been raised by the author of this particular article, that you can change you can change laws at any time. That is the best part of this parliamentary system of government or the democratic system of government. That laws are framed and laws are changed. This is the fact. Laws are framed and changed. So these laws are framed upon which India can claim all this security and scrutiny. But these laws can be changed. और laws अगर एक बार बदल गए तो वो लॉज हमारे फेवर में होंगे ऐसा जरूरी नहीं नाउ बिकॉज शेख हसीना इज नो मोर द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ बांग्लादेश वी वोंट बी गेटिंग एनी रेड कार्पेट वेलकम इन बांग्लादेश so basically this particular author is very critical about this particular thing that the impact of this uh, political upside down that took place in Bangladesh will be going to a lot. When protecting foreign investment, the most crucial investment in international law is a bilateral investment treaty (BIT). A BIT is a treaty between two countries aimed at protecting investment made by investors of both countries. Now this is important. It's a bilateral investment treaty. Now what is this bilateral investment treaty? So let's give it a general meaning. Bilateral investment treaty. We won't be discussing it with the context of India only. Bilateral investment treaty. Now, the definition which has been given in the newspaper is completely fine. We will just rewrite it. A BIT is a bilateral investment treaty. The full form of BIT is bilateral investment treaty. Now, what is this bilateral investment treaty? Is a treaty between two countries. Treaty between it's a treaty between two countries aimed at protecting investment made by investors of both the companies. Now, so basically, what is this bilateral investment treaty? This is a bilateral investment treaty between two countries. The main objective of this treaty is to protect the investment made by the investor of both the countries. So basically, the idea is very simple. अब मान लीजिए कोई इन्वेस्टर है उसने जाकर के बांग्लादेश में इन्वेस्ट कर दिया बांग्लादेश में सिचुएशन खराब हो गई तो उसकी वजह से उसका कैपिटल क्यों सफर करेगा दिस इज द होल आइडिया होल क्रक्स ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर बीआईटी नाउ हाउ दिस bilateral investment treaty how now we have understood what is this BIT now we have to understand how this BIT actually protect the investors so basically BIT bilateral investment treaty protect the investors or the investment by the investors by imposing certain conditions on the regulatory behavior of the host state. So basically, in this particular case, the host state is Bangladesh. So basically, this bilateral investment treaty will, regulate the behavior of Bangladesh related to Indian investment, thus preventing undue influence with the foreign investors' right. BIT also empowers foreign investors directly sue the host state before an international tribunal if the investor believes that the host state has breached its treaty obligation. Now, you know, another important uh, concept that is related to this bilateral investment treaty. That bilateral investment treaty empowers foreign investors because suppose this Adani company which supplies electricity to Bangladesh from Jharkhand. Now this particular company is facing any kind of problem in Bangladesh. So basically this Adani company and the Adani conglomerate can sue this Bangladesh government. BIT also empowers foreign investors to directly sue the host state before an international tribunal. So Indian companies can sue Bangladesh, the government of Bangladesh in various, in various BIT also various cases Indian companies can sue. Just to understand one last point, होता क्या है कि मान लीजिए आपने बांग्लादेश में इन्वेस्टमेंट किया 100 crore rupees का at certain terms and conditions there were certain kind of laws you found that those laws are familiar those laws are friendly to your project to your idea to your investment so you invested that particular amount in the state of Bangladesh but after some time the government changed now the government is changing the policy so why these companies should face the impact of those changing policies? Because at the time when these companies made the investment, the laws were certainly different. But these changes should not impact the investment and the company. So that's why this BIT, Bilateral Investment Treaty, plays an important role. It provides you the main tool to how this BIT will protect your interest. BIT also provides you the platform where you can sue the host state. This is known as Investor State Dispute Settlement, ISDS. Now, basically, if there's an investment between a nation and a company, this whole thing is known as Investor State Dispute Settlement, ISDS, according to the UNCAD, UNCTAD, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. By the end of 2023, the total number of ISDS claims, that is interstate in इन्वेस्टर स्टेट डिस्प्यूट सेटलमेंट, जो टोटल नंबर्स था 2023 के एंड तक वो था 1332, मतलब 1332 claims, different types of claims have been filed against the various states. So now let's focus on the last part. However, the twist in the tale is that joint interpretative notes that India and Bangladesh adopted in 2020 to clarify the meaning of the now, the twist in the tale. Now, so what is the thing which is actually concerning us is basically there was this joint interpretive notes which were adopted in 2017, and this particular GIN, joint interpretive notes, have been added in the bilateral treaty to clarify the meaning of the various terms in the 2009 treaty. So 2009 में इंडिया और बांग्लादेश के बीच में वही BIT, बायलैटरल इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रीटी, साइन हुआ था. अब बायलैटरल इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रीटी में बहुत सारे टर्म्स ऐसे थे जिनको डिफाइन किया है ज्वाइंट इंटरप्रेटिव नोट्स ने जिनको 2017 में ऐड किया है. Now, as part of overhauling its, so this is one important aspect. Now, the larger question: while Bangladesh provides the immediate reference points, the issue is not restricted to India's eastern neighbor. India's outbound investment had grown manifold. According to UNCTAD, outward foreign direct investment from India in 2023 stood at about $13.5 billion. India is among the top 20 capital exporting countries. So basically, we are a capital exporting country, which means that we are investing in other countries. We are basically exporting our capital. So these kind of things should be regulated, not regulated, should be looked with the utmost dedication, because at the end of the day, government will suffer, but uh, the companies which have invested in Bangladesh will suffer much more than the government. So we have to see this thing now. सो इसको ना एकदम जिस इस आर्टिकल को थोड़ा सा एकदम शॉर्ट और क्रिस्प वे में डिस्कस करेंगे. सो रिसेंटली क्या हुआ है कि इंडियन गवर्नमेंट एक अमेंडमेंट लेकर के आई है, और इंडियन गवर्नमेंट का ये अमेंडमेंट क्या है कि अब ये अमेंडमेंट आया क्यों है, क्योंकि जो पॉलिटिकल रिफ्ट चल रहा है, नॉट एक्चुअली पॉलिटिकल रिफ्ट, जो पॉलिटिकल अप्रोच चल रहा है बांग्लादेश में, उसके बाद क्या है कि इंडियन कंपनीज का भी जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है वो बहुत ज़्यादा अभी क्या हो चुका है, इट्स हैंगिंग इन मिड. ऑल्दो जो वहाँ के प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं मोहम्मद यूनुस, उन्होंने अश्योर किया है कि ऐसा कोई ग्रेव चीज़ नहीं होगा कि जो बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रैजिक हो या इंडियन कंपनीज के लिए डेट्रीमेंटल हो. बट अगेन we have to see things practically. On August 14, Reuters reported on the introduction of an amendment to India's power export rules purported to hedge against political risk in Bangladesh. It allows Indian power exporters, now this is important, it allows Indian power exporters to route their output to Indian grids if there is a delay in payments from partner countries. Now, this is one important observation, not the observation, this is one important rule that has been brought by the Indian government, and this rule is brought basically to protect to protect the interest of investors who have made who have made their investment in Bangladesh. Now, हम बांग्लादेश को बहुत सारा एनर्जी सप्लाई करते हैं, तो ये जो पर्टिकुलर चेंज आया है ये इसे एनर्जी से रिलेटेड है. इसमें बेसिकली क्या है कि अगर कोई भी कंपनी जो बांग्लादेश में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सप्लाई कर रही है और उसको टाइमली पेमेंट नहीं मिल रहा है, तो वो लोग क्या कर सकते हैं कि जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बांग्लादेश को भेज रहे हैं उसको रीराउट कर सकते हैं अपने ग्रिड पे वापस. This is a facilitated in a power purchase agreement entered with the Bangladesh Power Board in 2000 for a period of 25 years. अभी क्या है कि अडानी पावर जो है वो बांग्लादेश को 1496 मेगावाट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोवाइड करता है. और ये इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कहाँ से जाती है, किस पावर प्लांट से जाती है, तो ये इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जो बांग्लादेश को जाती है गोडा पावर प्लांट से. गोडा पावर प्लांट कहाँ पे है, गोडा पावर प्लांट इज इन झारखंड. ठीक है, झारखंड में है ये गोडा पावर प्लांट, और ये इंडिया का पहला ट्रांजिशनल पावर प्रोजेक्ट था. अब ट्रांजिशनल पावर प्रोजेक्ट का मतलब ट्रांसनेशनल पावर प्रोजेक्ट था. ट्रांसनेशनल पावर प्रोजेक्ट का मतलब ये था कि ये इंडिया का पहला ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट था गोडा प्लांट जहाँ पे जितनी भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी मैन्युफैक्चर की जाती थी वो सारी की सारी जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी होती थी वो बांग्लादेश ट्रांसफ़र कर दी जाती थी. सो बेसिकली अब इस आर्टिकल का जो नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट वो ये है कि वो बेसिकली डेटा सेट्स दिया गया है कि बांग्लादेश अभी जो टोटल इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट करता है दैट इज़ 24,911 मेगावाट। और उसमें से जो ये गोडा पावर प्लांट है ये इंटायरली 6% इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सप्लाई कर रहा है। सो इस वजह से इस वजह से भी इसका इम्पोर्टेंस थोड़ा सा गोडा पावर प्लांट का ज़्यादा है। गोडा पावर प्लांट झारखंड में और क्या होता है कि गोडा पावर प्लांट में जो कोल आता है दैट इज़ नॉट फ्रॉम झारखंड। ये कोल जो आता है ये आता है इम्पोर्ट होकर के ऑस्ट्रेलिया से। सो इस गोडा पावर प्लांट के दो इम्पॉर्टेंट फीचर हैं कि इसमें जो रॉ मटेरियल आता है ओनली द पावर प्लांट इज इन झारखंड। ना तो ये जो ये अडानी पावर प्लांट है गोडा में, ये ना तो झारखंड का कोल यूज़ करते हैं ना तो झारखंड को इलेक्ट्रिसिटी देते हैं, बस ये झारखंड का प्लेस यूज़ करते हैं एज अ रिसोर्स। यहाँ पे जो कोल आता है वो आता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया से, यहाँ की जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जाती है वो जाती है बांग्लादेश। नाउ द क्रिटिस नाउ अब गोडा पावर प्लांट जो बांग्लादेश जितनी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है उसका 6% अगर सप्लाई कर रहा है तो इट मीन्स इट इज कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग अ लॉट। ना अभी इंडियन गवर्नमेंट के एक इम्पॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट के बारे में बोला गया कि 2016 में एक इम्पॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट दिया था गवर्नमेंट ने। इंडियाज मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर illustrating the guidelines for power export in 2016 said the exchange of electricity across South Asia would promote economic growth and improve the quality of life for all the nations. So basically India has always supported this energy exchange thing, electricity exchange, that we should, provide electricity to more and more nations. अब ये जो गौडा पावर प्लांट है इसमें क्या इशू था, इसमें ऑस्ट्रेलिया से कोल आता था, इंपोर्ट कॉस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा लग जाता था, फिर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ट्रांसमिट करने के भी चार्जेस बहुत ज़्यादा थे। तो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं। फिर उसके बाद एक चीज़ और है कि बांग्लादेश ने 2023 में एक ऐसा क्लेम दिया कि उन्होंने बोला कि आपने जो हमें कोल का प्राइस कोट किया दैट इज़ $400 मीट्रिक टन पर मीट्रिक टन, और अभी जो मार्केट में कॉम्पिटिटर्स प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं ये कितना है, $250 पर मीट्रिक टन। बिकॉज क्योंकि जो बांग्लादेश की अथॉरिटीज़ हैं वो जो अदर कंपनीज हैं उनको उतना ही अभी पे कर रही हैं, $250 पर मीट्रिक टन। सो बेसिकली इन सारे एस्पेक्ट्स को हमें देखना होगा कि ये सारे जो एस्पेक्ट्स हैं वो भी हमने ऊपर एक आर्टिकल में बात की बांग्लादेश में जो हमने इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है उससे रिलेटेड। अभी ये जो दूसरी बात हो रही है ये हो रही है जो हम एनर्जी सप्लाई करते हैं बांग्लादेश। ठीक है, तो अभी बांग्लादेश में ऐसा नहीं है कि एनर्जी का जो सप्लाई है दैट इज़ वेरी रोबस्ट एंड वेरी अबंडेंट, या बांग्लादेश इज़ द power generator or it is the power source of the entire this entire nation. No, this nothing like that. There are long power cuts in Bangladesh. 13-13 घंटे के power cuts होते हैं. So basically the state of Bangladesh, the nation which is known as Bangladesh, is already suffering a lot. ठीक है। सो बेसिकली अब इसी चीज़ को लेकर के एक लास्ट चीज़ में चलते चलते ख़त्म करने से पहले बोलूँगा कि रेगुलेटरी चेक्स की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है। रेगुलेटरी चेक्स की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है। Mr. Bhamik states that the regulatory changes endorse greater flexibility to power exporters by permitting them access to the domestic market and reducing the dependency on external markets. He explained that it mitigates risk associated with instability of economic challenges in neighboring countries. So this is nothing new. We all know that. So yeah, let's move on to the next important article. So, but there was this petition in the Supreme Court challenging the 2019 law, under which law basically the union government has, not union government, has Supreme Court in this judgment, uh, held the practice of triple talaq as unconstitutional in Shaira Banu case. In Shaira Banu case, the practice was the triple talaq was declared unconstitutional, and the government has also given the statement or the affidavit in the Supreme Court, and the main gist of this particular affidavit, 433 three pages counter affidavit, was basically suggesting that this particular practice was arbitrary. This practice was affecting one gender specifically, that is the woman. Women are the main stakeholder in any case of divorce. Husband and wife is the woman. So basically वो मेन स्टेक होल्डर्स थे और उनके राइट्स को बहुत ज़्यादा अफेक्ट किया, जब बहुत ज़्यादा डेट्रीमेंटल थे, तो इस वजह से इस प्रैक्टिस को अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डिक्लेयर किया गया था. जस्ट टेक वन एग्जांपल. यू आर सिटिंग, you are sipping your cup of coffee, you are sipping a cup of coffee. Your spouse have been out station for several weeks, and out of nowhere your spouse calls you and says talak, talak, talak. Now the all these emotions, all these things just got over in a second, just by saying these three magical words, talak, talak, talak. सो बेसिकली ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा एक रिगरस प्रैक्टिस थी, और वुमेन इस प्रैक्टिस को परफॉर्म नहीं कर सकती थी. सिर्फ मेल्स वर अलाउड टू पर्टिकुलरली फॉलो दिस प्रैक्टिस. सो इसकी वजह से गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया था कि, सॉरी, पहले सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने शायरा बानो केस में इसे अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डिक्लेयर किया था. नाउ मूविंग ऑन. So former army chief General S. Padmanabhan passed away. Former Army Chief General S. Padmanabhan passed away in Chennai. Now let's move on to the next important news headline for the day. So we have already, seen a glimpse of this broadcasting bill. Now, when the draft bill was prepared, the copies were sent to only few. The copies were sent to only few stakeholders. It was not actually brought in the public domain. So what the minister have said, Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw said that the bill will be introduced after the consultation from the various stakeholders. Now, related to Clean Ganga Mission, the head of the National Clean Ganga Mission have clearly stated that the pace with which we are cleaning Ganga is very slow. We have already not invested, actually, we have already spent around 18,033 crore rupees. And out of this 18,033 crore rupees, 15,039 crore rupees have been used to, solidify this sewage infrastructure. And also, the other concerns are that no, the pace is very slow. The pace is very, very slow, and we have invested close to 2 trillion Indian rupees. 2 trillion Indian, not actually 2 trillion. We have invested around uh, 15,000 crore rupees. We have spent 15,039 crore rupees on sewage infrastructure. Why sewage infrastructure becomes important? क्योंकि जो पूरे सिटी का जो पानी हो, वो जो पूरे सिटी का नॉट कंटामिनेटेड, एक्चुअली जो पोल्यूटेड वाटर होता है, वो सारा का सारा सीवेज के थ्रू कहाँ जाता है, नदी में जाता है. तो उसी चीज़ को लेकर के 15,039 करोड़ रुपीज़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट किया गया. गवर्नमेंट ने अब तक 37,550 करोड़ रुपीज़ अलॉट किए हैं. बस इसका कुछ भी सब्सटेंशियल इंप्रूवमेंट देखने को नहीं मिल रहा है, क्योंकि पेस बहुत स्लो है. This world, we are now in this world section. आज ऐसा कोई इम्पोर्टेंट न्यूज़ नहीं है. सारी न्यूज़ आइटम्स जो हैं वो बस कॉन्टिन्यूएशन है, एक्सटेंशन है, और कुछ नया न्यूज़ नहीं है. तो इस वजह से अब हम लोग इसको छोड़ करके इंटरनेशनल सेक्शन के स्पोर्ट्स सेक्शन में पहुंच रहे हैं. एंड इन स्पोर्ट्स सेक्शन एज वेल, ओलंपिक्स ख़त्म होने के बाद पैरा ओलंपिक्स स्टार्ट हो गए हैं. सो अभी पैरा ओलंपिक्स हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाते हैं. सो अभी ये सुमित अंतिल के बारे में वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इन द न्यूज़पेपर. नाउ हु इज दिस सुमित अंतिल? इज अ पैरा ओलंपिक gold medalist, and his name is Sumit Antil. So yep, this is one thing, and this except this, yep, this advertisement. So with this, we have completed the news analysis of 20th August 2024. If you guys have any doubts or queries, you can punch in the comment section. Do like this particular video. This is my sincere request. This is a kind of gratitude, token of gratitude. Please like this particular video and share it with your friends, and subscribe to Success Mantra Digital channel. Thank you so much for watching the video analysis of 20th of August 2024. Thank you.